Sup, TikTok Nation? Hope everybody. Sup, TikTok Nation? Hope everybody's doing alright. Welcome, scrappers, scrapettes, planet lovers, recyclers, friends of the channel, and everybody else. Well, I've been busy. We had the end of the school year pickups going on, and as most of you know, I had a flood in my kitchen sink back there. Everything's all ripped up and being repaired, so it's been a little nuts around here. So I ordered some new e-scraps, so I'm going to see if I can get some new stuff up for you guys today. We did really well with these modules. I'm going to get an $800 check for board sort this week, all for these boards here. That was outstanding. We got the big copper heat sinks off of them. I'll tell you though, honestly, it burned me out. It really burned me out. It's nice to see my friend Patrick Williams on today. He's getting into doing some TikTok. That man can microscrap like I've never seen anybody do it before. If you're really into scrapping, you gotta check out Patrick Williams. He's on YouTube too. Really into precious metal recovery from e-scrap. Told him jokingly, it's too bad we're not neighbors, you'd never have to travel, because I don't microscrap to that degree. I go after the boards, I go after the components, things like that. Hello, user ending in 1851. Welcome. Now I'm just going to finish this one up here. Hopefully we get some of our friends into the chat today. It's kind of an odd time for me to go live. I usually go in the morning, but I've been really super busy. For those of you who don't know, in addition to doing all this fun stuff that I do online, I have a band instrument repair business, and of course we had the end of the school pickups and that going on. Tomorrow I am having my brand new sunsetter awning installed. We have had 12 out of 14 days the past 2 weeks of just rain. I have never ever seen anything like it. And of course today it was 90. We're about to get a thunderstorm. But summer is upon us, so I hope they're able to get the installation done tomorrow. Hello Patrick. By the way, great TikTok video. I enjoyed watching it. It was nice to see you live. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You do the most amazing microscrapping. Really quite an inspiration to the rest of us. So you know, we've been busy, and then of course, as most of you know, I was just a little bit under the weather this week. I don't know, some kind of stomach thing made its way through my teaching studio. So I'm going to finish this one module just to show you this board one more time. We had about 250 of these. One of the things I want to try to do, and again, I don't want to lock myself in for the weekend. It's summertime, you know, if I get a chance to go hang out at my nephew's pool, I probably would dispense with the live and go hang out with the fam. But one thing I do want to do is try to show you some of the changes Board Sort has made. Thank you, Patrick, for the gift. I appreciate that. I lost my train of thought. That's okay. Train left. So we did fantastic on these. Board Sort, the only thing they asked me not to remove these. They were going to downgrade me to peripheral high-grade boards, and I had sent them a picture of one of these boards minus this, and they said Telecom High. Then they downgraded me because I took the pins off. And then I said, but here's the picture, and you said that if I could take those pins off, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, long story made short, the professionals that they are, they made the correction, and I've made the adjustment. I won't take these pins off anymore. I'll tell you though, we blew through these pins. Unbelievable. Unbelievable how quickly we got through those. But sold a lot of them. But, you know, and again, you know, they were very professional company to deal with. And I've been working with them for quite some time, and, you know. So, going forward, I have to leave these. But these boards went as high-grade Telecom, which is paying about $8 a pound. For those of you who've been following me talk about how I get into e-scrapping, you're going to find lots of me telling you, saying that it was my feeling as we got into all this AI and chips and supercomputers and yada yada yada, is that I didn't think there was going to be a place to get precious metals. I felt they were going to have to go back to recycling computer boards to get them. And of course, I didn't expect the price of gold to go up to, what, $3,300, something along there. So these boards have really done very well for me. You know, I see myself doing less of this, probably just buying enough e-scrap to keep content on the channel. I do enjoy e-scrapping, but yeah, I'm slowing up a little bit, not in a bad way. You know, I love the summer, I love the beach, I like to be outside, I like to bicycle ride, I like to, I don't like to walk, walking sucks. You know, but I really don't want to spend my summer going cuckoo with all this stuff. My biggest job in the summer is getting all my band instrument rentals ready to go. Now, the yarn said this was stainless, and that's what they bought it as. I thought it was aluminum. They said stainless. So that's what it goes as. It's going to go as stainless as a pound on every one of these modules, which was really nice. Again, so as far as grading, a lot of gold here. Gold, 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 gold. Then they said, that was what got me. They said, you took the chips off. I said, no, I didn't. When I hit the heat sink off, it took the aluminum cap off, but it did not remove the chip. Not at all. So, again, you know, we came to a conclusion. This is how they want the board to be sold. These are pins, believe it or not. This is all full of gold, a lot of gold here. This board, I think we decided was from 2005, I think I had seen on it at one point. But I don't remember. So, this is, I'm getting down, I still got probably 50 or 60 of those to do. But we really did well. Like I said, I'll get an $800 check from Board Sort, hopefully on Saturday. And it's all those boards. So that was a really good buy. Plus we did well in the scrap metal department with the copper and all the aluminums. I think I did that breakdown for you maybe last week on my live. You know, the stainless plate we sold, the RAM, we got a lot of RAM out of these. CPUs, they went as pinless CPUs with the metal back. But the biggest find was RAM, and each one had 4 pounds of copper. So that was pretty cool. Alright. Here we go. We're going to play What's in the Box. I know what's in the box. E-scrap. So, let's see. Like I said, I'm going to I have a lot of stuff still to scrap. I've got a Mac all-in-one that I want to try to get apart for you guys. I've got a whole crap load of cable boxes. I've got office phones. So there's always stuff to scrap. In this particular case, though, I did buy this big pallet of E-scrap to flip for a quick profit. You know, I really did. I knew I was in for a big amount of work when I did it. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got. That was that silver. Let's see which one of the many this is. That's heavy. This is a Dell PowerEdge M915. And again, when I buy E-scrap, even if I buy it by the pallet, I try to get one to look it through before I make a lot of noise. I think you can see why I bought this. Look at here. Wow. Hey, Phil's Gold. Wow, 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 wow. 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 And by the way, I ordered 5 more of these. I already know, because we've taken apart so many of these, that these are going to go as number 1 copper, I hope. At very worst, they'll go as number 2. I have to find my remote control because somehow I just turned the TV back on. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. 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 Hi, Gold Slinger. Yeah, this is beautiful. I think I'll have a pound of RAM out of here. But again, you know, I asked them to take it apart, or at least pop the top off so I could see what was inside. I did the math to figure out if it was going to be worth it for me, and it was. So this is a Dell PowerEdge M915. Judging from the looks here, it's going to be an older unit. I'll try to find the date when I get this out. So this is very good chunky server RAM. Gigabyte wise, it's not a lot. Well, actually, I take that back. Each one is 8. So 8, 16, 24, whatever it is. Yeah. So RAM right now at Boar's Sort is selling at $32 a pound. I haven't checked my eBay store. Thank you, Goldslinger. Appreciate that. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I know I have at least 1 more of these coming in. I think I'm going to go ahead and order the other 3 or 4 that he has. Hopefully I'll be able to get them by Saturday. I did pretty well, like I said. I figured 2 pounds each on these for number 2 copper. So let's see, it's $2.49, so 5, 10, 15, 20. Plus we'll get a pound of RAM at least, so that's another 30. So I've gotten $50 in value back already, just off the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. I'll get some peripheral cards here. So yeah, all in all, I think this was a good value. I don't, like I said, I'll have to find the date somewhere. One of these components will have a date on it. I'm presuming I'm going to have a Xeon chip under here, pinless chip. So anybody who's been looking at my eBay store, Connecticut band, CT band instruments on eBay, I am still working on getting the other store up. That is going to be, what did I say I was going to do? E-scrap by the pound or something along those lines. I just haven't quite gotten it finished. The website is coming along. That is thecomputerscrapper.com. Yeah, we'll get a pound out of here. This is older RAM. The gold is very, very bright. Okay. I don't resell RAM. I don't have a way to test it. you know. Wow. Now, like I said, I already know I have one more of these coming in, and I know he had 5 or 6 available. I shouldn't, but I'm probably going to wind up buying them. I don't have to, you know, I don't depend on e-scrap for a living anymore. It was a God-given gift to me when Mommy was sick, because it was something I could do from home and still take care of my mom. But now with, you know, with retiring and just running the rental business from home and hopefully getting the music school closed down, you know, I'm not under such pressing finances. When she was out, when she was sick, you know, and I had to be home, I had to pay people to run the studio, and that meant working from home and scrapping my little brains out. I'm going to go weigh it. My scale's right in the next room. I think this is about 1.5 pounds, give or take a little bit. Right here, not too far away. I've been looking around for a local yard. I haven't had any luck finding one. Right on the money, 1.5 pounds exactly. Wow. Yep. Awesome. So that's 30. To get 30 bucks and 20 bucks. That's 50 bucks in RAM right there. Love it. I forgot one? Where? I forgot one what? Yes, Phil's Gold. I am. I don't know what shipping to the Philippines would be. I can't imagine it would be all that bad. So that'll be 2 pounds, Phil. If you have PayPal or some such thing, text me the messages and we could certainly set something up. Otherwise, I'll put that in my eBay store. What do you mean I forgot one? I didn't forget one, did I? Hiding on me. Alright. Let's keep digging here. I forgot one. That's the side of the server. That's okay, Goldfinger. Gold Slinger, excuse me. Freddie, welcome. I did not injure myself. I had to go for treatment this afternoon, and that was not fun. I'm dying to see if these are going to be pure copper. These heat sinks get to be a point of contention between me and my scrapyard. You've heard me go on about it. I don't really need to go on about it again, but I'm thinking this is going to be a Xeon chip. It's a Xeon. Some of these Xeon chips have gold and silver, and they're marked as such. So Xeon chips are worth checking the serial numbers on. Oh, I take it back. It's not a Xeon. It is an AMD Opteron. I lied to you, TikTok Nation. Unfortunately, it is not pinned. So this will sell as a non-pinned CPU with a metal back. Boardsort's paying about $8.50 right now on those, which is pretty good. Sir Goldsinger. Zoe, welcome. And I will repost, by the way, I'll repost the video on my YouTube channel. Yeah, these are going to qualify as Bear Bright, I'm sure. I'll get to the scrapyard and they'll tell me, nah, you're only going to get number 2. If I throw it like it is and I just chuck it in without knocking these off, yeah, I'm going to get number 2. They've been taking these as number. I argue with them every time I go in. These, I'll show you in a second. If there's contamination on them, like the ones that I've been pulling out of those modules, there's like an aluminum S on the bottom. Yeah, there's contamination on it. Therefore, I can't sell it as number 1 copper. That's not fair to the yard. Julian, welcome. All right, let me just pop one of these off. I've got to get a look at the base. If it's copper onto copper, you're all right. You can get your beer bright. But if there's solder or aluminum paste, come on, you bugger. It has to go as number 2. Ah, shit. Guess what's there? All right, has to go as number 2, guys. See it? There's aluminum, some type of contamination on there. That's going to have to go as number 2 in fairness to the yard. You can see it better here. Ah, crap. Crap. But you can't, that means I don't have to knock these off. They can just go as that. So that's going to be number 2 copper. If I wanted to waste my time, take the time to pull all these fins off and sand the top of this very thick, heavy piece, sure, I could get number 1 copper for that. I don't have the time, guys. That's a little above me pay grade. So this is interesting. This has 4 CPUs on it. That's kind of cool. So this will grade as a metal multi-socket server board. There's a lot of good gold recovery in here. The whole grading process has been turned on its ears the past 2 weeks. And I was wondering when it was going to happen. Is it just a matter of time? Hello, Bustamante. Welcome. Basically, what happened was these newer boards, the AMD boards, the Asus boards, the ones that are newer, the gaming computers, the ones that are colored, not green, there's a lot of plastic in those. So to pay the same amount for those as you're going to pay for a board that's pre-2020 is not fair to us as buyers, and certainly not fair to the yard, to the buyers of the boards. So what they did is they changed them. So again, there's contamination. These fins are soldered with an aluminum onto this block of copper. It is copper, soldered to copper, but it's contaminated copper. It's got to go as number 2, whether I like it or not. What else is going on? Let's see. Yeah, it's supper time. So they've changed all of the board grading, which is why I was able to actually get Telecom High for this board. It really would have graded as an AMD board before, but it was a special circumstance. So the grading has all been changed. I'm not even going to begin to try to explain that right now, because you know what it is, I don't have enough boards to do a comprehensive video on that for you. And if I'm going to do it, I want to do it right. You know me. Oh, do right. He's on here too somewhere. Haha. There used to be a TV show called Dudley Do Right, Canadian Mounties. Marshman64, welcome aboard. Yes, I know, I could use the power tools and make it go so much faster. Okay. Yeah, no, if these boards, these are this good, and he'll sell me the rest at a discounted price, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and buy them. Like I said, I really reached the point now where it's getting really hard to get quality e-scrap these days, I'll tell you. I was hoping over the summer it would pick up, and it still might with the schools and stuff. Because Windows 10 is not going to be supported after the fall. So that means everybody who's got Windows 10, as they develop problems with the computers, is not going to be a way to fix that anymore. Hi, Mary Lynn, welcome. You know, but it is what it is. Ouch. Ow! E-scrap fights back. Whew. Wow. Okay, so we'll get I don't know, maybe a half a pound of CPUs out of this. I clean the paste off not because I have to, just because it just freaking gets everywhere. Some messy stuff. I can't wait till the awning goes up because I'll be able to do my e-scrapping outside, which I'm going to have to do because my kitchen, and I'm going to do it myself, believe it or not, I'm going to, I just finished painting all these cabinets right before the flood happened. And when I got flooded, all these base cabinets over here they really took the worst of it. So the insurance isn't going to give me jack squid for it because, you know, they're older and so on and so forth. So I'm going to just pull. I'm looking for a used base cabinet that will fit there, and I'll just pull that out, put a new one in, put a new sink, and be done with it. Call it a day. But the bathroom really got it bad. That floor got soaked. I've got to replace the subfloor. I've got to replace the toilet, and that's going to be where the money's going to have to get spent. So we'll have contractors in. We're going to get painted. I'm going to have to replace the floor. Kind of juggled my timetable. I wanted to get the outside. Well, I finished the outside. Outside's looking good. I didn't want to start the inside till after rental season. We do a school year leasing program, which is really kind of fun. They pay once and it's a one and done. They pay once in the fall, and they lease their instrument for the entire year. And you know, once that's out of the way, we're usually set for a while. Okay. All right. I will take these brackets off before I ship because I can. These brackets are easy enough to get off. My buyer does prefer the removal of the metal brackets. And again, because he's a very good buyer, I certainly will do that. I mean, after all, he just upgraded all those boards for me. All right, I probably will have to take these off because probably these are screwed to a metal plate, and I won't be able to get the board out of the case unless I do that. So on and so forth. Okay. What should I play with next? Yeah, let me go ahead and get a smaller Torx. Guys, remember those Sun Microsystem boards we did? They were loaded like this too. Oh my God, it's 100 degrees out here in the entry. Ugh. It's warm. Ugh. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Let's hope I have what I need in here. I cleaned up the table. I got rid of a lot of stuff that was all over my table. I got tired of the mess. Hang on, guys. I'm sorry. Woefully unprepared today. That's me. That's okay. I don't know what I did with my other bin of. That's too big. These DeWalt kits that you get at Home Depot are not too bad. You can get them on sale. You can really get a nice selection of bits for just a bit of money. I'm gonna put that aside just for a minute, because I don't know where my other bunch of bits are. So we'll just, here they are. Here they are. Okay. So, how's the weather in your part of the world, everybody? Been getting rain like we have in Connecticut, or now we're getting into the blistering 90 degrees. We didn't even have a spring. It just went from rain right to 90. This one should do it. It's a good, it's a good little fellow. That's why it's in there. So the back to the whole grading thing. What he did is he did an evolution of circuit boards, and that happens to be Chris at Board Sort. Basically, starting from the older boards, the ones with the gold flashing, the original boards, the AMD boards that are plastic and pins, that are higher in gold recovery. And the thing with all of these assorted boards is they were made in certain time periods. So, grading them, well, one size kind of sort of fits all. And like I said, I will post this, I will post the video on my YouTube. So, the first generation was the original, the really nice, chunky motherboards with lots of chips on them, the old Apple boards, Commodore boards, your first generation of computers. So a lot of them had those gold boards, tons of chips on them, and they're very high quality. They're highly sought after now for gold recovery, as well as for sale to collectors. They're very highly sought after. So the next thing that came along, if I recall correctly, was the addition of a metal socket. Once they started with these metal sockets, it changed the structure of the CPUs. The CPUs are not always pinned on these metal sockets. It made the board cheaper for the manufacturer. But for those of us who gold refine, now you've gone down another grade on the board. The AMD chips, they were pinned. They were the square plastic sockets. They were pinned. There was a lot of gold recovery on the board. Enter this generation, and you can tell by the arm. So, like, this is your Xeon. Actually, this is an AMD arm. These are AMD Celerons. But a lot of times the shape of the arm is an indication of what kind of chip you're going to get in there. These are pinned. There's a lot of gold recovery here for the buyer, sure. But the CPU itself, it's pinless. And that is an old AMD Opteron. I was hoping it would have a date on it. Oh, it does. 2011. So that puts this board around that same area, 2011. Pre-2020, you've got good value there. Have you only services, it gives... Have you only servers, it gives better stuff to script. Well, no, Goalie, actually, it's, you know what it is? I bought a pallet of those modules that I've been working at. And that's why it's been so many of those. I bought 250 of them. I bought it it really is a quick flip investment. I will have computers. I've got some Polycom Office phones to scrap. I've got an iMac to scrap. So I do have some additional content coming. It's just that right now I had to get through that pile, to raise some cash quick. Oops, I just shoved those off to the side. These are, this is where the a hard drive would plug in the front of this. So this functions like a backplane board. There's gold fingers in here and gold pins here. So yeah, and I agree with you, and that's something I like to try to have varied content. Even this is something different. I tend to do a lot more computer scrapping because it's the easiest thing to get and it's not messy. I don't want to scrap dirty, greasy, nasty microwaves. You know, I don't want to scrap washing machines. I don't want to scrap dryers. I've got a bucket bin full of e-scrap out there. I've got cable boxes I've got to get through. I've got some high-grade telecom equipment that isn't a server. I've got a couple of switches as well. So this particular item came in today. It was a different kind of server than the modules that I've been doing. This is a Dell PowerEdge M915, which I specifically bought because when I saw it advertised, I saw it was full of RAM and had the copper heat sinks on it. So this is something I bought to scrap for almost immediate turnover and profit. Love scrapping stuff. Scrapping's fun, but for me, sometimes I'll buy a big pallet of something, get it turned over, and go that way. You know, I don't do the refining. I don't do all of that. I tend to process for profit. That's a good way to do it. I'm a different kind of gold digger. You know, I'll take them apart, I'll sort the boards, I'll get a box full of boards, and then off it'll go to one of my many buyers. I'm also working on getting an e-scrap store set up, and I just have been really busy with it. Now these I have up in my eBay store. They're sold, I'm selling them as gold recovery e-scrap. See the pins that are in there? A lot of pins in this. This is a vintage board. You won't see this in today's boards. I could take this apart, I could pull the pins, but I won't. I'm going to sell that as e-scrap. For those of you who do want to sit there and pull the pins. So that functions almost like a backplane board. The other thing, Gully, is I do this to show people all different kinds of computers and servers. So in the event they want to go out and buy e-scrap, they have some idea what's in the e-scrap that they're going to buy. So they don't just get a pallet and just get burned. I think seeing people take things apart, you know, helps other scrappers, and that's part of why I started this. Hello, raisins. Yeah, like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and buy the other 5 of these he's got for sale. I've got to call him when I get done here and see if he'll give me a package deal. I'll drive up and get them tomorrow. Maybe. Well, tomorrow's Friday, I don't know about that. So this will grade as a high-grade peripheral board. I've got a gold-banded BGA. I have gold recovery, gold pins. That'll be a peripheral high-grade board. Peripheral board's anything that isn't a motherboard, plain and simple. That was the other thing that I saw this weekend on Truck Scrapper and Scrapping Irish's Sunday Live. BoardSort actually has got an AI thing where you can scan your e-scrap and get a price and an estimate as to what it is if you're not really, you know, experienced in grading boards. So that's on the pike. I think it's still in the testing phase, but it'll be available soon. So again, I'll sell this in my store as a gold-bearing e-scrap card. I forgot what I had them in there. I have them by the pound. I try to make some of this stuff available to you guys where I can. I really do. Actually, I do sell a lot of e-scrap. So again, these are in my eBay store. It functions kind of like a backplane board. Something gold plugs into something gold. That's what a backplane board does. Hello, John Whitman. Gold banded BGAs, best material for gold recovery. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now see, on these peripheral boards, if I wanted to, and again, I'm a little bit leery of playing with sharp objects. I mean, if I were to take that off, and then I could just sell that as a low-grade board, if I was into gold recovery and things like that. I also sell peripheral boards by the pound too. See, that's not my comfort zone. My comfort zone is doing this, taking things apart, seeing what's in it, selling the board, selling the components, and then selling the other stuff to guys and gals like you who like the gold kind. It's just not my it's not my comfort zone. That was the other thing I was starting to say. Now that I've gotten through all that, I bought a lot of e-scrap over the winter because I had just started the channel. I started the channel I started the YouTube channel in January, and then TikTok, I don't know, February or March, somewhere in through there. So I bought a lot of stuff so I would have content. But that palette of modules, there were 250 of them on there. That I bought to process quickly for profit. But I'll be looking for some different things to e-scrap. I've reached the point now that the channel's doing well enough. Thank you for the gift, Gold. I appreciate that. That's nice of you. I have a fan club. I don't even know how all that works. It's really funny. Where was I? Lost my track of thought. I hate buying e-scrap, but, you know, if I buy a piece a day or a couple pieces a week and then, you know, strip them out, I'll have content for you, and I like doing that. I think over the summer, though, I'll be able to find plenty of e-scrap because the schools that I rent band instruments to, they already know me, so they're a little bit more willing to let me have their e-scrap. You don't always get that with people because of, you know, security. But that's the other thing about having a channel. You know, you can say to them, hey, check out my video. You can watch me destroy computers. Your data's safe with me. I'm going to destroy it. These are really good gold pins here. And again, because of the discussion I just had with my buyer and the changes in the grading, I'm probably going to leave these and see if I can get the board upgraded. I'll send him a picture before I send the whole bunch off. So again, peripheral high-grade board, gold pins, BGA chip, visible gold. Those sell as peripheral high-grade boards. These are pretty easy to take apart. This is not, I'll tell you, some of these servers, oh Maria, they are freaking honkin' heavy. These are very symmetrical, these servers. Seems to be what's on one side, seems to be on the other. I don't know that that's always true. Alright. Yeah. So again, there's gold bearing material here, gold bearing material here. More of this all the way to my left. So I get this over a little bit, I'll show you. Over here, under here is gold. When I flip this board, you'll see gold flashing underneath here, and that shows you guys where the gold pins are. See, like on this board, just because it's in front of me. So, under here, I'll have gold. Under here, 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 there'll be gold like this. All right. So that shows that there's good gold content. These are all gold. I have pulled these pins off quite a few of these boards, but I'm not going to off of this board. So going back to the evolution of the boards, so we went from the AMD boards the older gaming boards, the first computers, Commodores, Apples, whatever. And then they moved into another generation of boards. These kind of boards. The green metal socket motherboards became the board of choice. Less gold content. They had the Celeron chips and Pentium, I think they were. I'm not going to swear by it. But they went through a whole series of Dell chips. And fast forward to the next thing. And you still had your plastic AMD sockets. You still have your ceramic pins. You still had a lot of those. So the next, after the AMD boards, the Dell boards, the IBM boards started coming through with the pin CPUs. Less gold now for the less gold recovery, so not as high a quality board for a board buyer. Also, because the price of gold was going up, it made it cheaper for the manufacturers. These boards are rich in copper, palladium. I don't, because my buyer expects it to be on there goldie. Do I keep the CPU socket was the question. This is all gold pinned. If I was doing gold refining myself, yes, I would keep those. But because I'm selling it to a buyer who does do gold recovery, I have to leave it on the board. Otherwise it would get downgraded for sure. Now the CPU in here said 2011, I think it said, right? So this is an old board. Yeah, 2011. These green boards, they're rich in copper, gold recovery, aluminum, things like that. So those went along on their merry way for a little while. Then came, and these are still found pretty often, then came the I-series boards. You can tell those because they have a very unique bent arm shape, which was great. The value on the I-series boards is actually the chip, the I-core chips. The board itself became more plasticky. They became more colored, less copper and gold for a buyer, and a lesser quality board. I find that a lot in the Dell PowerEdge servers, not these, but the big ones that look like oversized gaming computers. You open those up, there ain't nothing in them. So this is probably borderline peripheral low, but I'm going to put it in with peripheral high because it's older and has gold recovery on it. There are enough chips to warrant, and there is some visible gold. That can go with its friends over there. Now the gaming computers, I get more gaming computers through my, I get more gaming computers than I do anything else. Because they burn. They just get burn spots in them because they can't handle the heat. And the boards are plastic, they're garbage. So what BoardSword does now is they won't buy gaming boards as metal socket motherboards. They buy them as what they call I-series boards. And they don't pay as much for them because, again, they're mostly plastic. So it's a whole new ball game of grading boards. I wish I had enough samples here to show you the whole thing. But, Shark Scrapper has it on his channel. BoardSword has it on their website. And, you really can go there and get it right from the horse's mouth, so to speak. But what happened is now my other buyer, who is in Maryland, I'm in Connecticut, they don't pay as well as BoardSword does, but I don't have to pay the shipping costs that I have to send it to BoardSword. So, but they changed all their pricing too. As soon as BoardSword did, so did they. And I imagine my other two buyers will do the same. So, anyway, trying to get this board out for you. So this is going to go as a multi-metal socket. Oh, that's the other thing with these boards too. Small socket versus large socket. There's more gold here than there is in the large socket. So as the boards got older, they got cheaper. Older and cheaper. Less gold content, not as well made, and so on and so forth. So I go after vintage boards. I go after old technology that people are replacing. I've been doing this a while, so I do have 2 or 3 IT companies that every once in a while they'll get a pallet of stuff. They can't resell it. They can't get rid of it. Their only option would be to scrap it out, and they certainly don't want to spend the man hours to do so. They'll make it available for sale for somebody like me. So you have to make yourself some friends, guys. Alright, let's see if we can get this board free. Board free. Ha ha ha. It's going to be a bugger, I can tell already. There's got to be something to free this here somewhere. Either that or I missed a screw, one or the other. This looks like it's just going to lift straight up. So, unless I missed a riser card, or I missed a screw, or missed something, there's really no reason this board should not come out. There we go. I should be wearing gloves, I know. That's going to slide out, and then I can get the metal plate off. In reality, guys, it takes me about 10 minutes to take one of these apart. It's going to go with my shred. I got to get the battery off, take these last couple screws off, and that board will be ready to sell. Oh no, I don't extract gold myself. That goalie is for somebody who knows what they're doing, and I think it's somebody else's comfort zone. It's not mine. I dismantle it. I dismantle the computers and make stuff available to people who do gold recovery. I sell out of RAM just about every week. I sell out of it faster than I can put it in the eBay store. This would be the last thing I do tonight, because I do have to work on those blade modules, and I know you guys are as sick of looking at them as I am. But again, there's a lot of copper on those, so I really want to try to get those. Out. Don't forget to take the batteries. It's illegal to ship with batteries in there, and if your buyer puts this through a refiner and there's a battery on it, it could start a fire in their refinery, and that would be bad. It has never happened to me, but I have seen entire loads returned to sellers because they didn't get the batteries off. So it's something you really have to do. And that's why they could have a fire. So I just had this discussion with the scrapyard that I frequent. I'm trying to get my yard to sell me some e-scrap. But, they've got their corporate policies and this, that, and the other thing, and you gotta have credit, and you gotta have this. As I got cash, baby, isn't that good enough? And I said, well, but, I got talking to the guy. I would love to get a job as an e-scrap buyer at a yard. That would be so cool. Yeah. I've already trained one yard how to sort and buy e-scrap, and that didn't end very well. One sort will buy these as gold finger cards. I would have the option too of nipping these off and selling it as a peripheral high-grade board if I wanted to. I don't really like to cut boards because it's messy. If I can do it outside, yeah, fine, dandy, I'll do it. But So you're working on a workshop. Goldie sounds like he's building his own workshop there, and I have seen some of your videos. You're awesome. Like I said, everybody has their niche. For me, no, I don't want to get involved with toxic chemicals and fume hoods and sitting there picking stuff off the boards. Secondly, our neighborhood is really densely populated. There's not enough safety barriers to do something like that. And thirdly, my nephew has 3 beautiful little girls, and I don't want toxic chemicals in the house. All right, so what's on the board? Here's the back. Here's our MLCCs from the brackets and the CPUs. Here's gold, 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 gold. And again, this gold is for the refiner. This isn't for us home gamers because it's in the board. Lots of chips on the back here. Very well populated. Again, a lot of gold here. The problem with this board is there's a lot of waste. You know, I couldn't request Telecom High for this, no matter how much extra gold it is, because of all this. There's a lot of waste on the board for a buyer. These are tantalum capacitors. This is going to go as a multi-socket, small metal socket, multi-socket green motherboard, no matter what I do. There's no way around that. So tantalum capacitors, there'll be gold in here. A lot of gold in here. And I'll leave this on here. There would be some argument for taking this, and the argument would be, well, I'm not going to upgrade the board no matter what I do. Gotta do my verify thing. I must have just hit an hour. My verification thing just came up. And I'm back. Yeah, my hour verification thingamabobber just came up. So there would be some merit to me taking these, because it's not going to affect the grade of the board either way. And I'm going to think about it. I don't think there's enough value to get an upgrade on the board. It's a great board. It's a good board. Yes, it's going to be a small metal socket, multi-socket motherboard. And that's all it's ever going to go as. Nothing is going to change that. So in this case, I won't take the chips because, yes, then it's going to get downgraded. I won't take those. Those will stay. Those belong to the buyer. But I might take these. I might, rabbit, you might. I'm not going to hurt myself, and I'm really not going to hurt the buyer. He's paying me for this. We're on this board because it's going to be telecom. If I took this off, yeah, I'm going to get downgraded, and I would deserve to be downgraded. So I probably will go after these. Probably. Just in this case. But not right now. Alright, well, I am going to love and leave you. And thank you for joining me for another episode of D-Scraps, E-Scraps. I hope you enjoyed the video and enjoyed looking at this this new board. Something different from what I've been doing. I will get 5 or 6 more of these, and I think I am going to take these only because it's not going to hurt me. I'm not going to get downgraded if I take them, so I will probably do so. All right, everybody, stay wonderful. God bless. Thanks for hanging out with me a little bit. I will repost the video on my YouTube channel because I did kind of do this at supper time. So, everybody take care, stay wonderful, God bless. Thanks again for hanging out with me for a bit. Have a nice night. Bye. I can never... It's, you know, it's right in the corner of the touch screen, and